In 1939, archaeologists began excavating a site on the Ohio River in southwestern Indiana. They expected to find a typical Mississippian village. What they found was a city, a planned city, with a central plaza surrounded by 11 mounds, with a palisade wall enclosing 100 acres, with residential districts organized by social status, with a centralized water supply, with specialized craft workshops, a city that had housed between 1,000 and 2,000 people. At its peak, the largest pre-Columbian settlement ever documented in Indiana. The city existed for approximately 300 years. Between 1100 and 1450 AD, it was continuously occupied, continuously organized, continuously connected to the broader Mississippian world through trade and shared culture. And then, around 1450, everyone left. Not gradually, not in stages. The archaeological record shows a community that simply stopped. Buildings were left standing, tools were left in place. The infrastructure of daily life was abandoned mid-use. Angel Mounds sits on the north bank of the Ohio River in Vanderburgh County, Indiana, about 5 miles east of Evansville. It is named after the Angel family, who owned the farmland before archaeologists arrived. The site covers 103 acres of the original settlement, of which 84 are preserved today. 11 mounds of various sizes, a central plaza, a palisade wall with bastions, the remains of hundreds of residential structures organized in clear patterns, suggesting social stratification. The planning visible at Angel Mounds is what sets it apart from smaller Mississippian sites. This was not a village that grew organically. This was a designed urban space. The mounds were positioned in deliberate relationship to each other and to the Ohio River. The residential areas were organized in ways that reflect a clear social hierarchy: higher status households closer to the central plaza, lower status households toward the periphery. Someone planned this, someone maintained the plan for 3 centuries. The Ohio River location was not accidental. The river connected Angel Mounds to the entire Mississippian world through water routes running in every direction. Trade goods found at the site confirm continental connections: copper from the Great Lakes, marine shells from the Gulf Coast, flint from distant quarries, finished objects in the distinctive styles of communities hundreds of miles away. Angel Mounds was plugged into the same continental network as Cahokia, Spiro, and Etowah. And yet it is not Cahokia. Angel Mounds was never the dominant center of the Mississippian world. It was a regional center, important within its region, connected to the broader network, but not the capital of anything continental. This makes it, in some ways, more representative than Cahokia. Cahokia was extraordinary. Angel Mounds was normal, a normal Mississippian city of its era, which means it was still one of the most sophisticated pre-Columbian communities in what is now Indiana. The mounds at Angel Mounds served different functions. Mound A, the largest, was a platform mound. The chief's residence, or a temple, would have stood on its summit. Other mounds served as ceremonial platforms, residential elevations for high-status individuals, and possibly mortuary functions. The organization of the mound complex reflects the 3-tiered social hierarchy, typical of Mississippian society: the chiefly elite at the top, a middle tier of specialists and sub-elites, and the general population in the residential districts below. The craft workshops at Angel Mounds tell us what people did for work: flint knapping areas where stone tools were made, shell working areas where marine shells brought from the Gulf Coast were cut and engraved into gorgets and ornaments, pottery production areas, possible textile production. This was not a subsistence community scraping by. This was an economy with specialists, with production for trade, with the organizational complexity that economic specialization requires. The palisade wall at Angel Mounds enclosed the central precinct of the city. Not the entire population. Some residents lived outside the wall in the surrounding countryside. But the ceremonial and political center, the mounds, the plaza, the high-status residential areas, these were enclosed and defended. The wall had bastions. The bastions had firing positions. Someone at Angel Mounds was prepared for violence. Whether that violence came is not clearly documented in the archaeological record. There is no obvious evidence of a catastrophic attack at Angel Mounds, no mass burials of violently killed individuals, no destruction layer consistent with burning. Whatever ended Angel Mounds in 1450, it was not a sudden catastrophe of the kind that burned Aztalan. It was something else, something that caused people to decide to leave, and to leave without coming back. The abandonment of Angel Mounds around 1450 AD is the central mystery of the site. The date itself is significant. 1450 is part of a pattern. Across the Mississippian world, the 1400s were a century of regional decline and population movement. Cahokia had already been abandoned. Many other Mississippian centers were in decline or had been deserted. The network that had sustained Mississippian civilization for centuries was contracting, but the contraction does not explain everything. Other Mississippian communities survived into the 1500s and beyond, some persisting until European contact in the 1540s and later. Why did Angel Mounds end in 1450 rather than 1540? Why did an entire planned city of between 1,000 and 2,000 people leave simultaneously rather than drifting away gradually? Where did they go? The where did they go question has a specific and interesting answer. The Shawnee, the Miami, and other indigenous peoples who moved into the Ohio River Valley in the historic period arrived from the east and north and had no apparent connection to the Angel Mounds population. The descendants of Angel Mounds have never been definitively identified. The people who built this planned city, who maintained it for 300 years, who organized its economy and defended its walls, we do not know who their descendants are or where they went. In 1450, this is one of the most uncomfortable realities of Mississippian archaeology. These were not small, isolated bands. These were cities, urban populations in the thousands. When they dispersed, thousands of people went somewhere. They had children. Those children had children. The genetic and cultural descendants of the people who built Angel Mounds are almost certainly alive today. We just don't know who they are. The excavation of Angel Mounds is one of the most significant archaeological projects in Indiana history. Beginning in 1939, under the direction of Glenn Black of Indiana University, the excavations continued for decades and documented the site in extraordinary detail. Black's work at Angel Mounds remains a model of systematic prehistoric archaeology. The site produced an enormous collection of artifacts, pottery, tools, ornaments, architectural remains that are housed at the Indiana State Museum and the Glenn Black Laboratory of Archaeology at Indiana University. The Glenn Black excavations also produced one of the most important discoveries for understanding everyday life at a Mississippian city. Because of the scale and systematic nature of the excavations, researchers were able to reconstruct not just the political and ceremonial structure of the city, but the lived experience of its residents. What they ate, how they organized their households, how they processed their food, how they treated their dead, how they structured their working day. Angel Mounds is one of the sites where Mississippian civilization is not just an abstraction, but a daily life. Today, Angel Mounds is a state historic site managed by the Indiana State Museum. It receives about 30,000 visitors a year. There is a museum on site. There are trails through the preserved mounds. There is a reconstruction of a Mississippian house that visitors can enter. From the top of Mound A, You can see the Ohio River, the same view the chief of Angel Mounds had from the same elevation in 1300 AD. The Ohio River is one of the great continuities of this site. The river is still there. It runs the same course. It carries the same water. The Mississippian people who chose this riverbank for their city in 1100 AD were not wrong about the location. A city at this bend of the Ohio River was a good idea in 1100. It was still a good idea in 1400. It is the reason Evansville is where it is today. The difference is that Evansville is in the history books. Angel Mounds is not. A planned city, 103 acres, 11 mounds, a defended central precinct, a specialized economy, continental trade connections between 1 and 2,000 residents for 300 years, 5 miles from where Evansville, Indiana now stands. Most people in Evansville have never heard of it. The people who built Angel Mounds organized their city better than many European cities of the same era. They maintained it for longer than many European cities of the same era existed, and we do not know their names. We do not know their language. We do not know where their descendants live. We know they were here. We know what they built. We know when they left. We do not know why.